Well, I hope you're all having a good Tuesday, the day after the so-called best inaugural address ever. Well, folks, I tell you, I have to be quite honest with you. I have a difference of an opinion on the validity of that being the best inaugural address ever. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to call it an inaugural address. I'm going to call it an inaugural speech because that's what it was. I won't call it a shot across the bow of the USS Constitution because that's what it was. I won't call it a shot at the conservative parties and conservatism and the United States of America as we know it because that's what it was. You know, I was expecting to hear a speech that was perhaps going to be one of unity, one of bipartisanship, one asking all Americans to work together to call upon the House, to call upon the Senate, to call upon the American people, the citizens of the United States of America to come together and solve the issues that are before us. We have some major issues sitting right in front of our eyes that we cannot solve because we will not work together. And yesterday's speech finally struck home with me on why we cannot work together. We have a president who feels and has a totally different agenda than a president who wants to work with Congress and the Senate in the spirit of bipartisanship. We have a president that for the first time stepped out and took that shot across the bow of the USS Constitution, the Constitution of the United States of America. I believe the president's true colors finally have come out. I have tried my best. I have really tried to look at our president as someone that was wanting to change America, but not the United States of America. Let me explain. Our country is more than Congress. Our country is more than the Senate. Our country is more than the president. Our country is 50 states, the District of Columbia, and several other territories that form the United States of America. I'm sorry, but after yesterday's speech, I hate to say this, I do not see a United States of America. I see a continent called America that is at war with itself fundamentally in Washington, D.C. I see America where the people, the citizens, are being very complacent. They are looking back and thinking, well, you know, I am doing pretty well. I just need to maybe think of myself. I need to protect my riches. I need to protect the entitlements that I'm receiving from the government. I see different clans protecting their own territory instead of looking at and trying to maintain, trying to hold together this great country we call the United States of America. Yesterday's speech was so disappointing to me. Instead of hearing someone get up and talk about bipartisanship, let's working together, reaching out his hand as president to say, I am willing to do that. I want to be first. I am willing to sit down and actually work together. I did not see that. I saw a president who opened up and said, I am at war with conservatism, with the United States of America as we know it, with the United States of America as set up by our founding fathers, with a president who is wanting to fundamentally change America, and if he has his way, no doubt in my mind, the very Constitution itself. Folks, we cannot allow that to happen. As conservatives, whether you be Republican, blue dog Democrats, moderate Republicans, right wing, conservatives, libertarians, whatever, we have got to wake up and see what's happening. I resisted. I'll be honest with you. I have resisted that the facts are that we are in trouble, but we indeed are. Now then, some people say, well, Bill, don't worry about it. This is America. This is America. You know, they don't say this is the United States of America. America is a continent. The United States is we the people of the 50 states, of the District of Columbia, and the territories that we have. That is the United States. We are governed by the Constitution of the United States. I'm reaching out personally to all my conservative friends, and yes, to all my liberal friends, and begging each and every one of you to look at what you're doing. Look at what you're saying. Look at what you're not doing. It's time to quit the games. It's time to look at our country, the situation we're in, and say, look, we cannot go down the road that was just laid out to us in this inaugural speech. That inaugural speech was so left, it was unreal. If everything that takes place that was mentioned in that speech, the United States as we know it will no longer exist. We are not a collective. We are individuals. We are individuals that have the same liberties, the same rights, the same opportunities as anyone else under the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, whether or not you're willing to get up, pull up your bootstraps, and work to take advantage of those liberties, the rights that you have, that's a different matter. But you don't make everyone equal by bringing those down that are willing to do what it takes to prosper. You bring people up. You encourage people to get up and get a job, to get an education, to put aside those things that they call inhabitants or disabilities and go out and be successful, to make something of their lives. And I am not wrong in that comment. I know people that have all sorts of disabilities. I know a person that is totally blind and has been since birth, and he's a very successful businessman because he got up, he made sure he got an education, he started working, he took chances and didn't use his disability as a crutch. He got up and fought despite that disability to make something of his life. He didn't sit back and wait on others to help him. He didn't sit back and wait on handouts. Now, my brethren on the conservative side that say, hey, I earned what I've got. Yes, you did. You certainly did. But we've also got to realize that we have responsibilities also. There are people in the community, there are people in society that truly cannot take care of themselves. We have to accept that responsibility as individuals. It is our humane responsibility to help those who truly cannot help themselves. For those who can and won't, shame on you. For those who can't and we won't help, shame on us. That's the dilemma we're in. Folks, we have a president right now that came out and told us, no holds barred, he wants to change this country. I have resisted arguing about that. I had hope that he was not what everyone has been saying he is. My hope is gone. He is what I have resisted to accept. It is up to us now as Americans, citizens of this great land, citizens of the United States of America, to get with our elected officials and let them know enough is enough. Those on the left, we are not going to be a leftist country. We are not going to be communists. We are not going to be socialists. We're not going to be fascists. We are going to maintain our democratic republic regardless. I still have trust in the American people that we will do what's right. To my friends on the right, the conservatives, folks, it's time for us to understand that we have to be the guardians of our country. We don't have to give and give and give and give. We just have to give where the timing and place is right. We have to stand by our principles, but we have to be flexible on how we get there. It cannot remain us against them and them against us. We have got to work together. We have got to maintain the United States of America as United States of America. It can be done. It's up to you, our elected officials, to make sure it's done. All you people sitting out there that are not elected officials, it's up to you to get out there and make sure you are educated on the topics, the issues, the candidates, and vote to get the right people in office. I am so disappointed that we have such a low approval rating on our Congress and our Senate, and we still have the same people in there. If you're that concerned, if you're that unhappy, why haven't we removed them? Why haven't we put fresh blood in there? We have in some instances. A few drops in a huge bucket. It's time to work together and make some changes. It's time for all of us to remember the Constitution of the United States, the United States of America, and that it's our job to make sure it remains that way. I appreciate you being here with me this morning.